Alright, how's it going everyone? Today I want to make a video talking about Army basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I wanted to talk about everything you should know before enlisting, at least things that I wanted to know that I didn't. Then I'm going to be talking about basic. Hopefully this is like the most recent video that'll come out, just because if you're one of those who are about to enlist, this might help you out. I wish I had a video like this that I could watch before I enlisted, so that's why I'm making this today. But first thing I want to talk about is actually making the decision to enlist. Basically, what I wanted to talk about was whenever you go into the recruiter office, first, ask a ton of questions. That's something I definitely didn't do. I wish I did. See if you can figure out more than what you think you already know before going into the office. But I will also say, do your own research and figure out on your own things that you have questions over, because in all honesty, if you walk into a recruiter office not knowing, not saying all recruiters are like this, but some will take advantage of you just to get you to sign that contract. So definitely take time in your personal time to study, do your research, things like that, just to figure out what it's like. It also help you too whenever you go through basic. I did my research and it helped me because I knew what to expect in basic. So like if we had a graduation requirement coming up, like whether it was like the forge, the hammer, anything like that, I knew it was coming and I knew what it was going to be like. But that's pretty much it for that. Military life compared to civilian life, also very different too. So before you sign the contract, you gotta know that your life is gonna change. You don't realize how much it will change until you actually get here and experience it, but it definitely does change. You're under military law. You're just following orders 24/7. Whatever you're told to do, you do. That's just the life of private. That's pretty much it for that. So what will happen is when you do enlist, after you pick your job, which I know the Army does this, I'm not sure about the other branches, but the Army will guarantee you your job. So whenever you enlist, they'll read out your contract saying you're going to basic for this time, then AIT for this time, and you're gonna have this MOS. So like I'm a 91 Bravo. Before I signed, they said your basic is going to be 10 weeks long, and then your AIT is going to be 14 weeks long. And that's where I'm at now, is AIT. So yeah, I got through that after I enlisted. What's going to happen is whenever you ship off, so for me, I was a quick turnaround. So I enlisted and then I shipped off 3-4 weeks later. I went through the MEPS process, that was fine. It's just boring. You go there, you fill out a bunch of paperwork, you sit there for a while, then you get through with that and then get on the flight, and then you arrive at basic. So for the Army at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, in my experience, and I know this is the way it is for everyone who gets to Fort Jackson, you get there late. So I landed in South Carolina around 12-ish o'clock at night, and then got to reception where I spent about a week at. I got there at about 12 to 1 a.m. and you don't sleep first day. You do not sleep the first 24 hours you're there. You sleep the next night. So you get there, get on the bus, they drop you off at reception, then you go through in-processing and all that stuff where you get your PTs, your OCPs, your everything you need. And then for me, I spent about a week at reception, I think it was more so like 4 or 5 days, but you'll spend about a week there in reception. Then after you get out of that, you go to actual basic training. And then you go through a process called the first 72 hours, which is not fun. Gonna be very honest with you, it's not fun, but you know, you get through it. So what you do is you meet your drill sergeants for the first time. You know, they basically roughen you up a little bit, so be prepared for that. But yeah, you get there, and then you go through the first 72 hours, which is just where they're just hard on you, they just warp on you, they just kind of let you know, like, hey, we're the drill sergeants, you gotta listen to us. that sort of thing. But yeah, so everything I just explained so far was yellow phase. That's reception, pretty much. And then you get out of that, and then you go to red phase, which is basically just your first few weeks at basic training, where you're meeting the drill sergeants, where life sucks. It's pretty rough. But yeah, you go through that, go through red phase. Then I believe, yeah, you go to the hammer. It's a field training exercise during the red phase, and basically that's kind of the worst part about basic. I've heard a lot of people say reception is the worst part, which I totally agree, because it is. And basic, it does get easier as you go through, because the drill sergeants get easier on you. You get used to it. Something I wish I would have knew before I went in, which I figured out the hard way, is the worst thing a drill sergeant can do to you is make you work out. And if you just break your days down into three parts of a day, you do something, usually PT, then you eat, and then you do your task, whatever it is for the day, then you eat again for lunch, and then you do whatever you need to do, whatever they have you do, and then you go to dinner time when you're done. And if you just break it apart like that, for 3 parts of your day, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it for red phase as far as that. Then you get out and you have white phase. So in total, you have red phase, white phase, blue phase, and victory phase. So you get to white phase. That's where you do, let's see, you have the hammer. You have another field training exercise. I can't remember the name of it right now. It'll come to me in a sec. But basically the same thing. You also start going to the range, which is fun. It is a whole lot of waiting around and things like that for sure. The anvil, that's what it's called. You go to the anvil. But you go through that, and then you go through the range, which that's just a lot of hurry up and wait, which that's really what the Army is just hurry up and wait, and then shoot for like 10 minutes, and then you're done, and you gotta sit around and wait for everyone else to be done. That'll last about 2 weeks. Each phase really lasts about 2 weeks. And then yeah, you get out of a white phase, you're in a blue phase. This is where, you know, things start getting easier. Start doing more fun things. You get to throw grenades, which that was definitely a ton of fun. I wish I could do that again. But yeah, you do that along with the forage, which that is a 3 days and 4 nights-ish, correct me if I'm wrong, field exercise, and you ruck out there 10 miles and then ruck back on the 4th day in the middle of the night. I think it's 12 miles or so. I think they said we took a wrong turn and then we ended up doing 14, 15 miles or something like that, but that's pretty much it for that. Then after you get out of blue phase, you go into victory phase, which is your graduation. You start graduating. You just start turning things back in. This is for the last like 2 weeks of basic or so. You start turning things back in. You start cleaning all your gear, start cleaning out the barracks, things like that. And then you just basically prepare to graduate and then do a bunch of graduation training. That's where everything starts feeling a lot better, because you put your graduation uniform on and then you realize you're finally getting out of here, which is a great feeling. So that's pretty much the overall summary for basic, and the most general point I could have made it. But as far as it is, if I could give any advice on how to make it through basic, remember your why. Definitely remember why you enlisted, because the hardest part is definitely the first few weeks adjusting, because it is going to be completely different than you thought it is. You're going to get there and realize that everything is different now. For me, it didn't set in until reception, and then I was like, wow, this is real, which happens to everyone. I saw it happen to everyone around me, and then I also saw everyone get used to it, and it got better. So that's just kind of how it is, but it's a complete change of lifestyle. So that's why it's important before you enlist to make sure you know how long you're going for, what your job is, just so you know you're going to be happy in the future. But that also leads me to my next point, is whenever you talk to your recruiter, don't let them talk you into anything. Like, oh, we have this option 19, go Ranger, if you want to, and you're like, oh, I get to be a badass. That sounds awesome. Don't do it if you didn't walk into the recruiter office planning on doing that. Do your own research and then know what you want to do and tell your recruiter that, and then say, this is what I want to do. When can I ship out? What are my options? What would my life be like? Then figure it out from there. But still, I mean, you could let them recommend you. Say, hey, you got this score on your ASVAB. Here's all the jobs you could have. Then go home and think about it. Don't tell them right then and there, hey, that job sounds cool to me. I want to do it. Because then it's set in stone, and it's not a good decision to make, because as soon as you sign that contract and you make it basic, it is your life for however many years you sign that contract, and you can't get out of it. So really, really consider everything you're doing before enlisting, because once you get in, you can't get out. The smartest way and the best way is to finish your contract. Anyone in the Army would agree with me on that, because getting dishonorably discharged would ruin your career for the rest of your life. So it is very important to make sure that you do your research and you're happy with what you chose to do before you enlist. That pretty much sums it up for the most part. That's kind of everything I wanted to cover. Let's see, what else do I got? Another thing, think about your life now, and then think about your life changing drastically. So if you have a good life now, definitely consider it. Definitely consider what you're doing, because whenever you get in, you're gonna miss. For me, I miss home a lot. I joined mainly because I'm patriotic, not because I have a bad life at home. So for me, it was hard to get over that for sure. I was homesick, I was missing home, things like that. Now, if you're trying to get out of a bad situation, which everyone I met here has, totally understandable and very respectable. They're proud of it, and they're trying to get out of a bad situation, and they come here, and it makes sense. But for those of y'all who are not trying to get out of a bad situation, who are like me and wanted to serve just to serve, definitely consider it. Definitely consider where your life is at now, and if you really need the military. I would say, as far as I've been in, which has been about 5-ish months so far, there's so much I've learned in such a short amount of time that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. So that is one thing the Army does have to offer. Well, the military in general will offer you. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I didn't go over all of the main things that you will go through in basic, like the gas chamber, Victory Tower, things like that. I really just wanted to talk about what your life would be like. That's pretty much it for the most part, but anything I missed, any questions that y'all have, definitely feel free to let me know. I kind of scrambled my way through this, so let me know if y'all have any questions or worried about anything, and then let me know. I'm also, I'm in AIT right now too, so I'll make another video on what AIT is like. And whenever I was in basic, I would get on my phone every Sunday. Oh, that is another thing. You do your phone at Fort Jackson every Sunday for 90 minutes. Every single Sunday I was in, I had my phone for 90 minutes. Except for the first Sunday you get there. So you'll go through a week, and that coming Sunday, you won't get your phone because you're just getting the basic. You're moving from reception to basic, so they're not gonna give you your phone. They will for like 30 seconds. You call home and you read a list, and it's like, Mom, Dad, I made it to basic. This trainee is reporting as ordered, blah, 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 whatever. And then you just gotta turn your phone in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. Any questions, definitely let me know. But just remember, if you already did enlist and you're seeing this video now, and you're about to go to basic, just remember everything's temporary, and I promise it gets better after you get out of basic. I'm here now, my phone. I thought it would never end, but it did. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have, but just let me know if y'all have any questions. All right.